Guide to Soul, Episode 3. Stop absorbing everyone else's shit. Welcome to Guide to Soul, coming back to yourself. I'm Jennifer, your host. This is a space where we slow things down and start to understand what's actually happening inside of you. Not just your thoughts, but your body, your reactions, your awareness. So you can feel more grounded, more clear, and more like yourself again. Last time, I asked you to notice when you feel off around someone. This week, we're going to talk about what's actually happening in that moment and what to do about it. Let's just say this is the way it actually is. If you feel drained after being around people, if your mood changes depending on who you're with, if you walk into a room fine and leave feeling completely off, you're not just feeling energy, you're absorbing it. And more importantly, you're taking responsibility for things that were never yours to begin with. This is the part most people don't realize. Absorption doesn't happen randomly, it happens in a very specific moment. When someone is overwhelmed and you lean in a little too far. When someone's anxious and your system tries to stabilize them. When someone is off and instead of you staying in yourself, you go to meet them where they are. That's the moment. That's where you lose yourself. And let's be really clear about something here. It is not your job to process other people's emotions for them. It might feel natural. It might even feel like you're being empathetic. It might feel like you're being a good person. But if you keep leaving every interaction drained, that is not empathy. That is overextension. And that difference matters. Because empathy makes you more present, overextension makes you disappear. I used to do this constantly. I'd walk into a conversation feeling completely fine and then walk out carrying something that wasn't mine. And the worst part, I didn't even realize I was doing it. I just thought, okay, this is how I feel now. But in retrospect, it wasn't. It was what I picked up and decided without even realizing it to hold on to. And honestly, no one asked me to hold on to it. There was no handoff. There was no signature required. No one said, hey, can you take this anxiety for me? I just picked it up like a stray cat, except the cat was someone else's existential dread. So here's the shift. You don't need to block people. You definitely don't need to shut down. And you don't need to avoid interactions. What you do need is you need to stay within yourself. That's it. That's the skill. Being with someone without leaving yourself to meet them. That's the whole skill. Not blocking, not shutting down, just staying in your own body while someone else is in their experience. You can be fully present with someone without moving into their emotional space. It just takes practice and awareness. In the last episode, I gave you 3 checkpoints before, during, and after. So this is the during. This is the moment most people miss. And here's how you actually do that in the moment. Not before, not after, right when it's happening. When you feel your system shift, and you will feel it, Pause internally and ask yourself this question: where am I right now? Not physically, internally. And notice what happens when you ask that question. Because usually your attention comes back to yourself just from that question alone. But what's happening in that moment is your attention has left your body and gone to the other person. So instead of staying there, bring your awareness back to yourself. Feel the weight in your feet. Feel yourself sitting in your chair or on the floor. You want to connect into that physical awareness. That's you. And that's coming back into yourself. You don't need to fix anything, and you definitely don't need to change them. You need to stop leaving yourself. This is very subtle, but it changes everything. Because the moment you stay anchored in yourself, you stop absorbing. Not because you blocked it, but because you didn't take it on in the first place. And the hard truth is, some people will continue to feel the way they feel, and you will feel them, and you will feel whatever it is that they're feeling. But that does not mean it's yours to carry. You can be around someone who's stressed, overwhelmed, emotional, and still feel like yourself. That's the goal. Not control, not avoidance. The goal is straight up stability. In episode 1, I told you awareness is where everything starts. This is what comes next: stability. Staying, coming back. Not once, but every time you feel you've left yourself or you feel yourself leave. So this week, notice this one moment. Take that extra second, especially when you feel yourself shift around someone else. And instead of following it, come back to yourself again and again. Next episode, we're going to talk about boundaries. Not the kind where you build a wall, the kind where you finally stop needing one. And if this resonates with you, share it with someone who might need it too, because sometimes the most grounded thing you can do is point someone back to themselves. And for now, just notice when you feel like yourself and when you don't. That's where everything starts. I'll meet you here next time. Love and light, Jennifer.